Happy freaking Halloween week. I'm so excited. This is my favorite week of the entire year, and I've saved my best story time for last. This is the spookiest and scariest thing I've got until next year, all right? So buckle in, Buttercup. Oh, hang on. Now I'm craving like miniature Reese's peanut butter cups. I gotta pick some up from the store after this. Anyway, so do you want to go to a college party with me? All right, let's go. I am 20, turning 21 at this point in my life, okay? I am dating somebody on the down low, okay? As in, we've not communicated our infatuation with each other just yet, so just keep that in mind, okay? So, my family friend, who I start to immerse myself with because I'm seeing this person, is turning 30, all right? And his birthday is around Halloween, so his wife decides to throw him a huge Halloween-themed party, okay? Specifically, a slasher movie, because he loves it. Like, he's obsessed with any horror film, documentary, it doesn't matter. This man is all about Halloween, just like I am. So when I tell you I'm excited, at this point in my life, I've never experienced like a real house party. So your girl is amped, okay? I was like, look, whatever you need, if you want me to bring something, don't matter. Like, I'm there. I'll keep it secret. Like, let's go, please. Okay. So we show up and it's a townhouse. And y'all, like, when I tell you they covered every single tiny little inch of this place with a decoration, it was incredible. Like, spider webs everywhere, fake blood everywhere, smoke machines. I mean, things you gotta walk through. Like, you name it, it was bumping. Like, it was insane. I was like, this is the place I need to be. This is wonderful. This is great. Like, so he got a set of like fresh tattoos, y'all. And he came in and all of a sudden like 30, 40 people scared the living shit out of him. And he was just like, oh, yo, like, let's start partying. And so everybody goes crazy. We start drinking, playing games, and like the night is just getting started, right? So because I am fresh in this relationship, okay, I don't know really any of these people aside from the birthday boy and the hostess, which is his wife, and her friends. This is her friend's place and some of her friends' friends, okay? So as the night goes on, mind you, I'm still, you know, underage, but I'm surrounded by people. I'm being safe, okay? So it's a rager. I'm going all out. This is my first time I've ever blacked out, okay? So I'm playing beer pong over and over again. I'm taking shots here and there. People keep handing me stuff. I'm throwing it back. I don't think anything, not twice about it, okay? Because I'm having a good old time. Like, it's all...
Hey guys, so story time of how I almost got kidnapped last night. Yay! And also, get ready with me. So, to like set the scene, me and my mom are the only ones who live in this house. And we had a friend staying with us from out of town. We also have alarms on all of our doors. So like if any door in the house like that goes outside opens, there's like a little chime sound. It's middle of the night. I was sleeping and I heard my door open, my bedroom door open. And my door is like a little bit swollen. So whenever it opened, it makes a loud sound. And I open my eyes. I'm laying there. I open my eyes. I'm like, oh, it's my mom coming to wake me up. It's morning. It's a like 6'5" big man, like 300 pounds. I don't know. He's big though, with a blue hoodie on and like very dark skin. The guy staying with us is white. He did not look like any of my mom's friends, anyone that I would know that should be in my house. So I'm like, oh shit. Let me pretend to stay asleep. I keep my eyes squinted and I'm like looking at him like through my hair so that he can't see that I'm looking at him. He looks at me and I guess he thinks I'm sleeping because he starts going through my desk while I'm like laying there watching him. And then he comes a little closer. He comes like right by my bed. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die tonight. But I didn't because I'm still here. And then I don't know what happened while he was near my bed. I was facing away. I did not want to move. And so I like heard him going through like maybe my nightstand and stuff. And then he walks out of my room, closes the door behind him. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Am I dreaming?
So here is my final story for Halloween. And this story, this very true story, takes place between here and Austin, Texas. And it happened in the end of May and June of this year. I'll see if I can make it through this one okay. So, the end of May, my sister called me. My mother called me on a Wednesday. I think it was the last week of May. And she said, we just had a regular conversation, but I noticed that she was coughing a lot. And she was not able to finish our conversation. She had to hang up. So I was like, that's weird. Got a little concerned. So I went for a walk after that call. And as I'm walking across the street, like I see something swoop in front of me. Another bird swooped right in front of me, and it caught my attention because I had my headphones on and I couldn't hear anything except the music. And then I happened to look across the street, and there was a massive bird. And as I looked over, this bird fell out of the tree and onto the ground. It was a huge hawk. And this hawk, I guess he was perched there, but he fell. Like, he just fell out of a tree. And I've never seen a bird fall out of a tree before. So I thought that was interesting. Continued my walk. I went to go and see a little further up, like, because I was across 4 lanes of traffic, and then I could see the bird had fallen, and then he tried to get back up and like hopped up into another part of the branch, and then I lost him in the trees.
Once you get into a fight as a girl with a boy, you will really understand how difficult it is to really overpower them. Like, it's, oh my God. And I really just realized this today, bro, because this was my first time ever trying to defend anyone from a man. It was scary. Okay, so boom. So me and my boyfriend, like, we were just having our usual disagreements, and for some reason, let me mention his height. This 6'1", 6'2", I don't know. He was up there though. 200, I want to say 50 plus pounds. Oh my God. And compare that to my boyfriend. 120, 5'8". Of course I had to help him. Anyway, okay, so in the middle of our disagreement, in the classroom, I forgot to mention it was in the classroom. So yeah, me and my man were having like a disagreement, like between us, but for some reason he was listening, and when he was listening, he just burst out laughing. And then, of course, I'm gonna be hostile towards you, because why the fuck are you not minding your business? Like, what the fuck? Like, I get it that we're arguing in the classroom, but still, mind your fucking business, mind your own, So that kind of prompted me to say, shut the fuck up, because shut the fuck up. And my boyfriend agreed. Like, he literally said out loud, shut the fuck up. Like, and then this is where it all turns. So this boy, he literally got mad. Like, I don't know. And blah, blah, blah. Like, they were like going back and forth, right? And then, out of nowhere, yeah, I said shut up one more time. Out of nowhere, this nigga said, bitch! This nigga said bitch so fucking aggressively. He said, bitch, this is a free country. I can do anything I want. Now you know my man had to stand up for me. You know it. Okay, so, yeah, he went to it. Like, he went to it, right? And yeah, they were like, I'm not gonna, like, they weren't like swinging at first. They were like bear hugging. But this was the moment I wanted to help out. When I decided to help out, when I decided to at least try to get him off him because I thought he was really choking him out. Like, I really thought my boyfriend couldn't escape him. So I just jumped into my survival instincts or whatever. I just started punching this nigga in his head. And no, first, I was trying to grab him off. Like, I couldn't move him an inch. Bro, I was so scared. Like, my adrenaline was, like, rushing. It was rushing. But I was so scared for some reason. But, yeah, in a sense, I couldn't get him off like that. I just started punching the shit out the back of his head. Look, my computer almost fell. I just started punching the shit out his head, you know. So, and then, oh my God, he grabbed my ponytail. I was wearing pigtails. He grabbed one of my ponytails, gripped it so fucking hard, slammed me to the wall. That shit was, I don't know. That shit was eventful. Like, but during the moment, I was like, damn, I really can't do shit. Imagine me in the real world in this situation trying to get a man off me. But anyways, yeah, hope you enjoyed this story time.
Can we show him the older homestead?
Yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
They went to both.
Yeah.
So I have a scary story time that I highly don't recommend for you to play out in the open. Put your AirPods in, put your headphones, whatever you have to do. Just don't have this playing because it is very dark and you may call upon something you may not want in your space. The person who submitted this wishes to remain anonymous. For the sake of the story, we're going to call her Nelly. So the story took place about 2 years ago, right at the peak of pandemic time. Right around that time, Nelly and her son would wake up with scratches all over them. The scratches would always come in threes. They would also hear knocking at night that also came in threes. You guys all know what the 3 means. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is the D word mocking the Trinity. They then start hearing voices and footsteps coming from upstairs while they were downstairs home alone. The final straw was when Nelly's son told her there was a painting on the wall that was moving, so she decided to take it down, only to turn around and find that same painting set in the middle of the room with her sweater balled right on top of it. At this point, she decided to get some professional help and reached out to some paranormal investigators. At first, they came to her home to interview her to make sure that she wasn't having a mental breakdown and also to try to debunk some of her claims. After they were assured that she was perfectly fine, they decided to set up an investigation. They told her that they would be back within 2 days. In those 2 days from the time the investigators visited the home, the activity in the house amped up drastically. The morning that the investigators were set to arrive, Nelly decided to drop her son off at the babysitter's house. Now, anytime Nelly spent time at that house, she always had background noise playing because she was always afraid of what she may hear. Being that they were getting ready to leave, everything was off in the house, and as Nelly was upstairs just finishing up with getting ready, she hears a woman's voice talking to her son downstairs. She yells down to her son and asks him who he's talking to, when she clearly hears a woman's voice say, "Don't tell her." Immediately, Nelly ran downstairs and went to grab her son. Now, her son is normally a very calm and sweet boy, but the minute she picked him up and said it's time to go, he completely lost it and had the biggest tantrum of his life. She practically had to fight to get him into the car. His arms kept wailing. He kept trying to do everything in his power to prevent from leaving the house. Finally, Nelly had to set him down. The minute she set him down, he ran to the garden and picked up a flower. And in the creepiest voice possible, he said, "We have some visitors coming. I have a gift for them." Nelly felt sick to her stomach. She picked him up and put him in the car. When they were about 30 seconds down the road, it was almost like he snapped out of a trance and he went back to his normal self. They both ended up going out to eat. When they were out, Nelly's son did not mention anything about what had just happened. But unfortunately, in the craziness of trying to get her son out, she realized she forgot her overnight bag, which meant that she would have to go back to the house. Now, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because TikTok took away my 10-minute long videos, so I'll post this right after this.
Another real life scary story time, and this one is from a fellow TikToker. Now, I had done a live about a week ago, and she came on and she started to tell me the story, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm not going to do it justice. You need to send me the whole thing and I'll tell it for you. Here's what happened to her. She said, this happened in the Philippines when I was a teenager. I lived with my grandparents in an old Spanish-style 2-story house. My bedroom was upstairs. My aunt, on my mother's side, lived with us too. One day she told me that she saw me walking in front of the yard. She was in the living room on the first floor when she noticed me passing by. She even called my name, but I just ignored her and I kept walking. She thought it was strange. The weird thing is that same day I had only just come downstairs out of my room well past noontime because I had stayed up late the night before. I greeted my aunt and I said, "Good afternoon, I just woke up." She looked at me in shock and said, "How? I just saw you walk by the front door." I told her that's impossible, I just woke up. Then she adds something that made my blood run cold. She said, "Wait a minute. The girl that I saw had jet black hair, but your hair is blonde. That's nuts." And she tells me that her hair, she had just dyed it blonde when she turned 15, but her aunt saw her with jet black hair. She goes on to say she swore the girl looked exactly like me. Same height, same face, everything except with black hair. And when she called out, the girl didn't even acknowledge her. That's when I freaked out and I said, "Auntie, you are scaring me." Now, this is important because this is a story like the ones, if any of you have been following my spooky, scary stories, the doppelganger, the girlfriend who I told you I saw, and I thought it was my girlfriend, but it wasn't. But anyway, that was her. Now, we're lucky because we get a second story from April Grigsty. This is now all grown up. She's already married and she's living in Canada back in 2016. She says it was our first year together, meaning her and her husband, in Mississauga, Ontario. One night I was away for work at Mississauga Beach for a whole week. My husband stayed home. Every night while I was gone, we would chat and say goodnight before I went to sleep around 8 or 9 p.m. That night was no different. I said goodnight to him and went to bed. He stayed up late as usual because he liked to play video games up until late. He said to me later on that while he was playing his video games, he suddenly saw me walk into the house. He said I went straight to our bedroom without much conversation, but he tried to greet me with, "Hi, babe. I thought you weren't coming home until next week. Why didn't you tell me? You surprised me," because he thought she got home early. But he said that I did not answer or respond in any way. I just gave him a look and kept walking toward the bedroom. He thought it was odd, but assumed I was just tired. At around 2 a.m., he finally finished playing his video games and went to bed. But when he opened the bedroom door, I wasn't there. Panicked, he searched the entire house, the kitchen, the bathroom, the laundry room. Nowhere to be found was she. Then suddenly, all of the lights in the house flickered. The power went out. And then it came back on again. He freaked out. I'm starting to freak out. The next morning, he called me immediately, and of course, I was still in Muskoka, not at home. We were both shaken. To this day, we believe we encountered a doppelganger. You need to follow April Grigsty because she has some cool stuff on her page, and I'm sure that if you have any questions regarding this incident, this spooky, scary paranormal stuff, she'd be able to answer you much better than I could. Hopefully I did her story justice, but you gotta go follow her.
Spooky story time. A follower that wants to remain anonymous sent me the story, and we're gonna call it Hide and Seek. For the sake of the story, we're gonna call her Mia. Mia says that this happened about 10 years ago, and it was her and her cousins. They decided to play hide and seek one night, and Mia was the seeker. Mia says that she starts counting, and all of her cousins start to hide. When she's done counting, she kind of looks up, she looks around, and at the top of the landing is her cousin, and she's gonna call her France. Mia tells France, and she's like, "Hey, I saw you," and France is standing there giggling, and she just runs off. Mia runs up the stairs to follow her cousin, and she's nowhere to be found. She looks through the bedroom, she looks through the restrooms, and she's nowhere to be found. She's confused because she can't find her, so she's like, "Okay, whatever, I'm gonna come back to this." Goes downstairs to look for her other cousins. She looks around, she goes into this bedroom, and all of her cousins were hiding in that same bedroom, at different spots, of course, including France. She's confused and she asked France, like, hey, did you go hide upstairs? Or like, and France is like, what are you talking about? No, we've been down here the whole time. So Mia asked the other cousins, hey, did any one of y'all go upstairs to go hide? And they were like, no, you were counting right by the stairs. You would have heard the stairs creak and heard us run up the stairs if we went upstairs. Mia tried talking to her aunt and her uncle about it, and as always, adults laughed, they brushed it off, nothing else happened. Months after this hide-and-seek game, France ended up getting very sick, and her mom ended up taking her to a lady in town that they call Santiguar. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I googled it, and it says in Filipino culture, Santiguar refers to traditional healer who not only heals the sick using herbs and spiritual practices, but also fights mythical creatures. So I'm thinking this is some type of curandera. So France and her mom go to this healer, and Mia is there watching this whole thing. And she says that this healer starts doing all sorts of things, mixing all sorts of herbs and oils, and she starts mouthing and chanting some sort of prayers. And this healer is trying to contact something or someone that is now inside of France. So at the end of all of this healer ends up telling France and her mom that she had a doppelganger or a mimic that was inhabiting her and was following her around and pretending to be her a lot more often than they thought. Luckily, once all of her cleansings were done and everything, she was able to heal France and got rid of this mimic or doppelganger. But can you imagine being a child and watching all of this happen? Like, Mia was just there watching, like, or even being friends and actually having to be the one that this is happening to. Hell nah. Thank you so much to Mia for sending me this spooky story. As always, if you guys have any other stories that you'd like for me to read, please send them via DM or email, and I'd love to read them. And if you guys like all things spooky, all things scary, and all things paranormal, make sure you follow. I will see you guys in the next spooky story. Bye!
Okay. I don't usually do like spooky, scary story times, even though I do have some experience with questionable things, I guess you would say, that you might call paranormal. I'm kind of a little more on the skeptical side, but I've seen enough to like be more like agnostic about it and less like, 100% skeptic. But anyways, it's Halloween, right? And the wind chimes will not stop chiming, and I'm hearing them from like different parts of the house. So I go to where the wind chimes are, which is the front of the house. They're not moving, and I would go right after it would chime because I'm like, why does it keep chiming? Like, there's no wind tonight. There's no wind. And so I'm mostly hearing it from my mom's room. And so I go over there and I hit the flashlight because I'm like, there has to be wind chimes in the side of your house. And she has like the screen door in her room and everything. So I put the flashlight out, and the first thing I see is a little black bird. And it's not a crow, it's not a raven or anything. It's just a little black bird, a little black and white bird. And then I look for wind chimes. I'm like, you have to have put wind chimes back here. Like, that's where I'm hearing most of the noise. I heard it in a couple other places, but mostly just my mom's room. No, there's no wind chimes back there. And like, I have such a like unsettled feeling as well, because usually I'm not upset by like noises. If I hear wind chimes, I'm like, those are wind chimes, like, must be windy. It's not windy. And the wind chimes that I'm looking for are not there. Like, we have one set of wind chimes, and every time the wind chimes would go off, I would go run to, I even like stayed by the door to open the door and see what, like, if the wind chimes are moving after they tinkled. They're not moving. It's not windy. So this has been my Halloween. My mom's theory is that someone passed away. But I don't have a theory. I just know that these are the facts. And I'm a little freaked out.
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
Let's do a little scary story time, shall we? About a month or so ago, I posted a video that was titled, "By Talking About the Paranormal, Are You Inviting Things In?" I'd gotten numerous questions about it, and basically in the video, I go into detail about how I believe that no, you're not inviting things in as long as you have set boundaries and like you know what you're doing, right? Well, in the video, I did go into detail about how I have been experiencing a few things, so I figured I'd give you guys an update about them. So, in short, I had been experiencing like knocks around my house. These knocks are still continuing. It's different from the sound of a house settling. It literally sounds like somebody is going up to the wall and knocking like hard. Kind of like you would do to get someone's attention, I guess. These knocks are singular knocks, and usually it'll happen, I'll hear it but not acknowledge it, and then it happens again. If I'm in my living room, it will happen on the wall, on the ceiling, randomly. This isn't like a constant thing, it'll just randomly pop up, and in the hallway right outside the living room. I've also heard it in my bedroom, it'll like hit the edge of my desk, just randomly. Then I also talked about how I have been touched while trying to go to sleep. And it just so happens that this happened to me again last night. I was laying in my bed. It was probably 2:30 a.m., just like last time. I'm laying there. My dog is at the end of my bed. I'm sleeping next to my husband. And it literally feels like, at first it feels like somebody has like put their hand on the mattress. So like I can feel it sink down. Not necessarily somebody sitting full weight, but just like, you know, pressing. And then it happens and I feel somebody grab my leg and squeeze. I ignored it. Whatever. It happens again, literally not even a minute later, where I feel the same pressure of somebody squeezing my leg. I usually don't react to these types of things. I like to think that it is my grandfather checking in on me. Because I have, you know, when I was little, he used to tuck me in before I went to sleep and literally like shove the comforter up under my legs and stuff like that. And before he would go, he would always like squeeze my leg like, "Good night." And so I think that's him. Now, I will say I've also experienced orbs flying in and out a lot in my videos. And I'm not a big person, like a supporter of orbs, if you will. I think that most of the time they can be explained, whether it's, you know, lens issues or bugs. Because a lot of the time, bugs will fly in front of a light and they almost look transparent, but usually you can kind of tell the difference. These are full-on orbs and I don't know where they come from, but they will swipe in and swipe out every time, just like this. Same pattern. It's happened in most of my videos, but usually it's a part that I end up cutting out and shortening the clip anyway, so I don't really pay that much attention to it. It did happen yesterday, and also while filming yesterday, I was using my light and the light started to blink like a strobe light. Very strange, right? Check the battery, full battery on the light, so there's no reason why it should be strobing, but that happened first, and so I was like, okay, maybe my light's just like glitching out because technology, right? Then the orb flew in the camera right after I said that, and I was like, maybe someone's messing with me. Again, my house is kind of old, and the land that my house sits on was a known area where, you know, the Civil War took place. So, I mean, there have been times where we've been outside and we've seen like shadows in the field and like things like that. But nothing ever super scary. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced any of these things before and how you dealt with it. But until next time, stay close to the light.
Hiba történt a Matrixban? De hogy is történt ez? Ez most történt velem a nyáron, hogy nálunk voltak az ismerőseink, és mi nagyban beszélgettünk, mikor az egyik őjük mondott egy viccet. De most figyelj, mert az igazán érdekes része még csak ezután kezdődött. Szóval, ahogy kimondta a viccet, egy másik ismerőssel egymásra néztünk, és én már majdnem elnevettem magam, de a mosoly eltűnt az arcomról, miután hátborzongató dolgot vettem észre. Nem tudtam reagálni, és a levegő is nehezebb lett, valamint azt vettem észre, hogy a hideg végigfutott a hátamon. Miután feleszméltem, észrevettem azt, hogy ez az ismerős egyáltalán nem mozog, hanem csak néz előrefelé rám bamba tekintettel. Itt még jobban kirázott a hideg, és akkor hallottam meg azt, hogy nevet, viszont ez az ismerős nem csinált semmit, hanem csak mosolygott. Nem tudtam, mire véljem ezt az egész helyzetet, és nem mertem megkérdezni senkitől, hogy más is észrevette-e ezt az érdekes jelenséget. Szerintetek mit tapasztalhattam? Hiba csúszhatott a Matrixban? Vagy valami más történhetett? Írjátok meg nekem kommentben. Köszönöm szépen, hogy megnéztétek ezt a videót.